Okay. I want to welcome all y'all to the very first of the SORBA Sessions. What these are going to be is a bi-monthly webinar style sessions where we're going to cover a variety of different topics. Everything from chapter governance, branding your chapter, fundraising. We've got a list of items that are set aside, but if you have any suggestions or if you have any topics that you feel like we should cover, definitely email me, and that would be a great thing to add to our list. You know, we look to expand this, but right now we're every 2 months, and we hope that it adds value to what your SORBA membership is and what you can bring to your chapter. So today is going to be all about branding your chapter with Canva. And if you're unfamiliar with what Canva is, it's a web-based software that you can use for graphics production, and it can do everything from print to social media and web-based programs. So we're going to cover today what is Canva and why you should use it, setting up your brand hub. SORBA provided templates, so we're creating templates that we share out to chapters that are able to be used by you and edited by you. So we'll give you some pre-made templates that can give you a good starting point on your design, editing the templates to fit your chapter, and then exporting your final product. A real quick little background about myself outside of being the executive director of SORBA. I have a degree in graphic design. I've worked in advertising agencies. I've been a freelance graphic designer. I handle all the design stuff for SORBA and have really done it for pretty much every company that I've worked for since graduating college. So not only do I work for SORBA and I help lead the organization, but this is something that I'm really familiar with. And it's a topic that I'm very comfortable with talking about. So the first question is, what is Canva and why should I use it to help brand my chapter? Canva started in 2013 as an online design and visual communication platform. Nonprofits have the ability to use Canva Pro for free, and there's some additional features in the free program. You get extended font availability. You have more space online in which to save, so you have more cloud space. You can invite team members, so you can have a number of people associated with the account. It doesn't have to be just one. Although I would recommend having the login be based on your chapter, so you use your chapter email, and everybody logs in through the one email account rather than having a number of team members. But it's important to keep your branding consistent, and Canva makes it pretty easy to have that consistency across the board with all the things that you design. Benefits of using Canva, like I just mentioned. And then we also have the ability to share resources between SORBA. So not only can I have resources that SORBA creates for you, but you can share any templates that you might think is appropriate for other chapters to have. You can share that to the database that we're going to have and make it easy to share among everybody else. So brand consistency. If you look at branding and you've done any sort of study in branding, the number one thing that you want is consistency, and you want something that's going to be instantly recognizable that, hey, this is your organization that's trying to spread the message, whatever it is. So that was one of the things when I first got on with SORBA, trying to make our branding a little bit more cohesive, to make it so that everything is has the same language, everything looks similar, and the branding is easily recognizable. And you look at brands that are big like Nike or Apple or Coke, and all their branding is the same. Like you pick up a magazine, you flip through the pages, you see an Apple ad, you know it's an Apple ad before you see the actual logo of the Apple brand. So how that helps with Canva. One of the things that you want to do before you get too deep into designing anything is spend some time to set up your brand hub. And inside this brand hub, you can upload logos, you can upload images, you can select the different types of fonts that you use for specific elements. But I highly recommend starting off with the logo, because the logo is your brand. That's essentially the face of your organization. And you build off of the colors and your logo for the remainder of the things that you're going to design. You notice that the majority of the things that SORBA has out there are going to be red, white, and blue based. And that is because our logo is red, white, and blue. And that leads us to the color palette. So you see in this left-hand area over here, the color palette that I selected is the colors that are used in our logo. That's an easy to do click and select if you have that ability. And then also you can, if you know what the hexachromal or Pantone numbers are, if you had a graphic designer make your logo, they should be able to provide those with you. You can upload them there. The fonts are here. So you add a title text, a heading text, body text, and you select which font you want to use for that. So again, that adds to that consistency across the board. And then you want to add photos and graphics. So for instance, on this page, that topography background that you see here, that's a graphic that was created and then uploaded. So again, I can use it over and over again to keep my designs consistent. And then you want to go through and you want to start creating templates. These templates are different than the designs because they save the original design, and then you can reuse that template to create new designs. And that also helps speed up your process, and again, adds to that consistency. Canva does have a number of different templates available, and you can start off with those to if you're starting fresh and you need something new. Definitely start off with one of those templates and then use your branding guide. So use your colors, use your logo, and make it so that it's going to be your own, and then create your own personal template through that original design. The SORBA templates will be SORBA branded. I'm going to share with you an Excel spreadsheet. Each template will have a URL associated with it, so a web address. And what that'll do is when you click on it, it'll open it up in Canva, and it'll ask you if you want to start a new design using that template. And we can kind of go over how that works, and I can give you a little bit of like a demo as how that works. So you edit the template to fit your chapter's brand. If you're starting from complete scratch, so you don't want to start with a template, you have some design experience and you want to start completely from new, you start from the home page. And then you can select what type of document you're doing. And Canva also does a really great job of providing pre-made sizes for whatever specific project you're looking for. So if you're wanting to make an image for Instagram, they already have it set so that it's a 1080 by 1080, which is the ideal resolution for an Instagram post. This is kind of about how to edit the template. So then once you get done with your design, you'll want to download it and share it. So you click on the upright panel, it'll give you the options on what you want to download. If you're using it for web-based, I would recommend either doing a JPEG or a PNG. If you're using any sort of print file, definitely recommend a PDF. The print quality is going to be better and the file size will definitely be lower. So before we get into any questions, let's go into a little bit of a demo, because even this presentation that I did, it was built in Canva. So this is the edit screen here, and you can click on any one of the items that are here. They are all pre-made and brought in. And with this template, which I have provided, you can go in, you can edit text, you can have it say whatever you want, just like you would if you were doing a PowerPoint. But the benefit of this is with Canva, so say you wanted to take this and you wanted to turn it into a social media post. You could then come over here to the resize panel and you wanted it to say, let's make it an Instagram story. So you hit copy and resize, and that'll take that whole document and resize it so that it fits into that perspective. Not necessarily something that you would do all the time, but this is, if you wanted to share it in a different way, it's really nice. Let's go and start from a template. So we'll start from a sponsorship packet. All right, so I clicked on the link that the spreadsheet has, and this is the current 2023 SORBA sponsorship. So if I were to go in here and make any of these changes, so say your chapter doesn't want this as the background, they just would like to have a solid color. You go in and you can delete it. Oops, there we go. And then we just want to have a solid color. And it covered up a bunch of stuff. So one of the things that you can do is you can change the order in which it's, I keep moving around this. The, whatchamacallit, Zoom button thing. If you right click, or on an Apple, you two-finger click and you send it to the back, everything's all good. We've done the edits. You click share and you want to download it. And this being a print file, we'd want to have it as a PDF print. Click download and it'll download to your computer. If we were to start from brand new, you come over here and click file, create a new design, and you see the list of all the things that it recommends for sizing. So Facebook post, Facebook cover, Instagram post, so on and so forth. One of the things that I've been working on recently are note cards. So like, for instance, if we wanted to have a card that went to a bike shop, I just made this exact same thing. So we'll do it all over again. So here's the brand hub. As you can see, I have brand templates. I have all the SORBA logos, color palette, fonts, graphics, icons, and it does take some time to set all this stuff up. It takes a minute to get everything uploaded, but once it's all uploaded, it's all here so that you can easily add it to your design. So the way that I normally start off is I start with a background. I'll bring a background in, resize it so that it fits. You just grab corners. And then the next element is I'm going to add some text. I just clicked on the add a text and we're going to have it say happy. and you notice that pink line that pops up in the middle. So that, and it kind of snaps to it. That means that that text is now centered. If you hold Option and reduce, it'll just bring it to the middle. And then we're going to add another text field. Happy New Bike Day. And then one more from SORBA. So if you hold Shift and click on this text, it kind of groups them together. And from there, you can center that item grouped together. If you notice on this left-hand panel, there are a number of versions of the SORBA logo. I also have them set so that I have logos that are appropriate for a dark background and logos that are appropriate for a light background. If I were to pull this light background one over, you notice how that text is white and you can't see it. You want to have multiple versions of your logo so that it's useful for situations like this.
Philip, I love how your faith that we have a usable logo.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely assuming, and I think Rambo's logo is pretty usable. When it's
not a chance.
When it's small, it's definitely difficult to read. And unfortunately, Canva doesn't have a really great job of editing or creating a logo like that. You need to get with a graphic designer to make it better. And I think it's money well spent. If you want to add a new logo, hire somebody or find a volunteer that does that. That would be a good ad. So back to this design, the intent of this is it's a postcard that can go into the new packet. Like you go in and you buy a bike and you get all that stuff. You get like the you might get some stuff from the bike shop. You get an owner's manual and all sorts of stuff. Well, hopefully this is something that could be in there. So yeah, it's nice to say Happy Bike Day on the front page, but then on the back page, you want to have some more information. I just clicked on this link down here in the bottom and that added a second page. So then you can go in and create any sort of language that you want. We made one. Let me go ahead and open it up so you can see what we did with the final product. And then the back page. So this is one of the things that we provided as a template. So really you could just take this, change the background, change the logo on the front, add your logo here, and change this QR code. That is one of the nice things also about the Pro features is that you have the ability to add QR codes to products and you can set them for whatever you want. And I don't know if you've done any research on QR codes, but they're to have unlimited amount of QR codes is kind of expensive. So even that aspect is a really nice add from the Canva Pro side of things. You can change the text if you want. I've tried to make it so that anywhere that the text is supposed to be changed. So you'll see here where it says insert website or social media, I have it in those brackets. That way you can add your chapter's information there. Here, chapter name, your own chapter's EIN number. If you don't have any of that information, I can certainly let you know.
Philip, I was on another call when y'all started, but to get access to these templates that you've built? Those will be emailed out, or do we log in and get to a portal that we can download from?
Yeah, that is a really good question. And I think we can now move into that question area, but I'll show you what we've got going on. It is not the most scientific of solutions, but it is definitely going to work. I'm going to share my screen one more time. So we've got set up this spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet is viewable by anybody that has that's linked to the SORBA account. And these links pull up the template. So anytime you want to use one of the templates, you can click on it. Unfortunately, there isn't a visual associated with it, so you got to kind of click on it to see what it looks like. But we also have them separated by print, social media, membership drive. So when IMBA puts out the membership drive stuff, I'm going to add them all to the to our Canva and make it so that you have editable images that you can use and you can add your own photos to. Video, I don't have any video yet. And then this last tab, this is where somebody would come in, and if they had any idea or request for a type of design, it can be added here in this last tab here. But that's to show you, well, I'm going to have to change how I'm sharing the screen. Let's do this. Desktop. And so how I pulled up that sponsored packet earlier is I clicked on this link, it redirects, it says use template, allow it to open the Canva program. It opens the Canva program, and here you are with the design, and you can start designing it, and it doesn't change any of the template that's already made. You don't have access to any of that. It is your own new design that's brought in, and you just go through and edit it as you want. I'm hoping that that's going to be pretty simple to do. And I think that the database will continuously grow. So anytime I add something new, I'm going to add a link, and I'm going to add it to our database of Canva assets, so that we eventually will have this long list of items that people can use, and they can just edit it how they want it to and make it their own. Yeah, so let's open it up to questions. Anybody have any questions about what we covered? I know that we went through like how to use Canva pretty quickly. And if you have any issues or like really want like an in-depth how to use it, I feel much better about setting up a session just one-on-one so that we can talk about it individually, because if we went and kind of like round robin, like everybody tried to do this design on their own, we'd be here all night.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So how do we access this, or where do we go to find it? Again, is there a link you can send all of us so we don't have to try to look for it on the Google Docs, or what?
The spreadsheet, yeah. So after the meeting, I'm going to send it out to all the participants, and then we'll also have a blog post on our website that will have links to all of the items. One of the things that we're doing with the SORBA sessions is that we're recording all the sessions and we make them available on YouTube. So we're going to start posting all of our sessions on YouTube. So they'll have links on the YouTube page, they'll have links on our website, and I'll email them out to everybody that participated as well.
All right,
Philip, when setting up Canva to get to Pro, it asks for some nonprofit information or to validate. Is there anything tricky with that process we should do?
Well, Stuart, I I can answer that because I've already tried to go through it. It's not a problem because Kevin sent out the EID number for the nonprofit. The only problem we have is the website. Is they send an email to info@rambomtb.com, and there's a problem with the settings on the website, and I'm trying to get that straightened out. But anyway, all you need to do is just you go in and enter the number. They send an email to the website, and somebody just has to confirm that you're part of the group. But
Okay.
I got to figure out what's going on with that. But
And
it's pretty easy. You just go in and you enter the number, and it pulls up the Rambo chapter of SORBA, and all the information's there.
Philip, would you recommend that a chapter use one profile, one login, and then any members of the chapter that need to do work is one?
Yes.
Or would each member of the chapter working on stuff have their own setup?
I would recommend having just one login per chapter. I think that helps with consistency and helps with rollover and roles. So yeah, I would definitely say do one login per chapter. Does anybody else have any questions?
I don't have a question, but we've been using Canva, or I've been using it. I didn't realize there was a nonprofit option. And I didn't really spend a lot of time in there and haven't set up the brand hub. But I mean, for me, that's the biggest takeaway, is just how I can better use it, or have someone help me better use it within our chapter. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. And like I mentioned, I think the brand hub and setting that up initially is one of the more important things, because it takes a lot of time. Like I spent probably half a day setting ours up. And there's still elements and things that I need to make for SORBA, but once it was all set up, like having that, I mean, you saw how quickly I threw together that little postcard. It took, 5-10 minutes once I had all the elements set. So that there's a lot of front end work, but once you get it done, it streamlines your production pretty well.
Yeah, that'll definitely make a big difference. I appreciate you doing the legwork and figuring all that out.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was a little bit of a challenge on my end of things, because I come from the background and I'm used to using some of the Adobe professional tools, which allow me to do a lot more. If you know how to use them, they're great. If you don't know how to use them, they're incredibly overwhelming. But it's like if you had your first mountain bike. If you were to ride your first mountain bike now, you would kind of be fumbling all over yourself a little bit for a while before you figured it out, because you're used to like dropper posts and full suspension and like all these really nice things, where that's kind of like what the Adobe programs are like. It's like a really nice mountain bike, and then the Canva program is good and it does the job, but it's kind of like riding a bike that was 10 years ago. And you just have to realign and understand what the limitations are of the product.
No, that makes sense. I've used it and designed some posters and things for our Hill of Truth Festival. It's just for me, it's just super easy, and you can use it. That they have an app too, which I've used that a little bit just to pull up the designs to show someone else. like at one of our board meetings or something. But yeah, it's definitely a great tool. I am used to using the Adobe tools as well, and hadn't used them for a couple of years. So getting more familiar with the Canva tools. Now I'm kind of able to move around in there, but I hadn't had a half a day to set up my brand hub. So maybe someone will volunteer to do that. We've had I don't even think she's actually a member of our chapter, but someone who is a graphic designer had volunteered to help us with some things. So I may ask her to help me get this set up. So.
And that's, you brought up two great points. The app is really awesome. I've used a little bit on the fly, just making something on my phone or like an iPad or something. So the app it's really robust and does a great job. And if you do have a volunteer that's a graphic designer and they don't want to volunteer to, they don't want to volunteer to produce all your stuff, maybe you do give them access to the Canva profile and be like, hey, do you mind just like going through and setting up our brand hub? I know it'll take you a few days, like a few afternoons to get it set up, but they can set you up with all the stuff in there that would be extremely helpful to allow a lot of people to be able to produce good product.
Well, I definitely think for any of the chapters who don't already have a little bit of graphic design experience or have someone who can help them, the templates that you'll be sharing are going to be very beneficial. Like not having to reinvent the wheel, it saves time and will allow us to have something very professional at the same time. So I'm excited about that.
Cool. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? Well, again, if you want any one-on-one help with like just basic functionality and some design ideas and how to do graphic design, I'm happy to help out. Send me an email and we can get something scheduled where you and I are on a call together and we just kind of work through a design together. And maybe I can teach a little bit of basics about like the hierarchy of graphic design and how that works. But yeah, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for being a part of our first SORBA session. Be on the lookout for our next sessions that's going to be coming up in 2 months. And I believe the next one is going to be about fundraising and working with corporate sponsors. So we'll have Jen leading that one, and then we'll also have some guest presenters as well. So again, thank you for your time. I hope you have a great night, and be looking forward to the email that I'm going to send out that has all the other information.